Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. We're just gonna hop onto it. We did feature a brand new team in yesterday's episode. This team, of course, was built by senior world champion Mark McQuillan. You can follow him on Twitter at Whoopahking, at WOOPAHKING. We're gonna find Vovuvu from Iowa with a rating of 1660 right away to kick off today's episode. If you have not seen the last episode, I highly recommend it. It was super fun, and I also uploaded the analysis to my World Championship team, so check that out as well. Anyway, Vovuvu here has got a team of Kangaskhan, Heatran, Thundurus, Landorus, Breloom, and Aegislash, so pretty cool team here for sure. And let's see. What do I want to lead with here? So I think Landorus is actually just super good in this matchup in general. Right from the beginning, especially with the Assault Vest, I can take attacks easily. So I do want to lead with Landorus, and partnering it up with it is going to be... Who do I want to pair it up? I think Machamp can be super fun here right from the beginning of the game. Machamp actually knocks out Kangaskhan, Heatran, and Aegislash outright with its moveset. And Cress here I would probably bring if I had safety goggles, but I don't. So I'm going to put Charizard in the back, and for the last one, Heatran's kind of tempting. Sylveon's kind of tempting. Sylveon or Heatran. I think Double Fire is actually really good in this matchup, despite my opponent having a Landorus, since I do have the Shucca Berry on my Heatran, and I can Intimidate with Landorus. And Machamp can Wide Guard as well. So a bunch of options here, and we're going to get into it soon. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share your support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. But let's see how this battle goes out. The Breloom definitely probably the most interesting thing on my opponent's team, though. Breloom, super good Pokemon, but super frail because of its ability to Spore, often carrying a Focus Sash. Not seen too much typically because it's pretty volatile and predictable, but gonna lead with the Landorus and Machamp here. And we are going to see the Landorus and Kangaskhan. So, Intimidates all around right from the beginning. And let's see what we want to do on this first turn. His Intimidate goes first. Doesn't tell me very much about the item, though, since I am Assault Vest and bulkier. But, the Machamp here definitely still puts on a lot of pressure. Actually, I'm going to remove Landorus's... Oh, I don't have knockoff here, excuse me. I'm just going to Superpower Kangaskhan and Dynamic Punch it. Kang here is probably going to fake out Machamp, but Landorus can't do very much in the position, so Landorus would actually presumably want to switch out, and if that's the case, I get a free super effective fighting type attack off against Kangaskhan, bringing it under 50% for sure. And both of these Pokemon, you can see by their HP stats, are built pretty bulkily, so kind of interesting neutral start from both ends, but I'm alright with what I've led with here, just because I think it's definitely in my favor, given that I have more super effective attacks. But I think if you're my opponent here, you might want to consider switching out Landorus, or just going for a U-turn, excuse me, a knockoff onto my Landorus. Kangaskhan here, if it carries Power Up Punch, could be interesting, but actually it's going to be Kangaskhan switching out here, so whatever's coming in is going to be confused from Dynamic Punch. It is going to be Thundurus coming in here. Landorus actually going straight for the Earthquake there, maybe predicting a switch out into Heatran, or maybe just trying to get some free damage off. Still does a relatively good amount there, so maybe that's a Choice Band Landorus. So nice switch in there to resist the fighting type attacks, but not the worst of cases here, since I do get the confusion onto the Thundurus. And still doing around 40%, so I'll take that. So with Earthquake coming out from Landorus... this is a little bit tricky, actually. I kind of actually just want to knock out Thundurus, so then Charizard can come in. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Rock Slide here and Stone Edge Thundurus. Okay, Landorus just continues to Earthquake. No switch out from Thundurus either. So I think that should be banned Landorus given the damage output. But Machamp here does have the Citrus Berry, so I'll be able to take this one and two more, presumably. Let's see if Thundurus can attack through here. It is going to be confused. Does it get the attack off? It does get the Thunderbolt off. So targeting out Machamp. Clearly my opponent wants this Machamp gone. Rock Slide, gonna connect. And the nice thing is you never have to worry about missing an attack when you do have Machamp out because of no guard. So, proccing the Citrus Berry there on Thundurus. Actually, Stone Edge might not be able to pick up the knockout here with the Citrus Berry. So let's see. -1 Stone Edge from Machamp. Critical hit here would also help us. But nope, come really close. Unfortunately, not picking up the knockout. This is actually pretty tricky. Actually, I can wide guard and rock slide. Yeah, I'm gonna wide guard here. So the thing is, I wanted to knock out Thundurus because presumably this Landorus, like I mentioned, is banded. So whatever comes in is he basically forces this Landorus to switch out. He actually just goes for it here. Kangaskhan coming back in. So good play by my opponent there. Let's see if Thundurus attacks through. I do reveal the wide guard, but the switch out there basically confirms that he's choice banded. Does Thundurus attack through the confusion here? Let's see. He does. So gets another Thunderbolt off. Unfortunately, Machamp goes down. So, you do see why my opponent so aggressively targeted down that Machamp the entirety of this match. Landorus gets the Rock Slide off, though. Going to be able to connect. So, unfortunately, no Paralysis or no Confusion hits on the Thundurus, which definitely would have helped me out a little bit in this match. But it's fine. We'll take what we can get. So, I'm going to bring out Charizard. And right now, part of me is regretting the Charizard-Heatran duo, as we're going to see Landorus shuffle back in. Presumably banded, so he's just going to go for a Rock Slide. Yeah. And I'm going to switch out into Heatran, and I actually am going to set up the Sun here just so my Heatran can potentially overheat the following turn, because I'm definitely switching out Charizard next turn. So right now I'm kind of making predictable switches. Let's see if my opponent can catch me off guard. Heatran comes in. Let's see. Kangaskhan Mega Evolves. Yeah, I probably could have played a bit better with Machamp in this game for sure. But yeah, I mean, okay, let's think. Like, Sylveon wouldn't have been an incredible Pokemon to bring in this match, but I guess it would have been a bit better in this position against Kangaskhan and Heatran. I also wonder if my Charizard's faster than Landorus, because if that's the case, I can just Flamethrower it potentially for a knockout, but let's see. So I'm making the obvious Protect play here, but I really need to. Kang. Gonna go for the Fake Out, gonna target Charizard, and gonna see a Rock Slide from Landorus. Yep. So basically the most predictable move, but makes the most sense. Doesn't do too much to Heatran. Actually, maybe I can just go for the Overheat onto Landorus and withdraw out into my Landorus here. Baiting basically the low kick onto Heatran, or a Power Up Punch. Though Power Up Punch would be kind of deadly. So I get the double Intimidate off here. Let's see what happens. Okay, he just goes for another Rock Slide, yeah. Though he outspeeds Kangaskhan, so I'm wondering who's faster there. Doesn't do too much. Oh, he has Drain Punch on Kangaskhan. Is that enough to knock me out, though? Shouldn't be. Okay, so as long as I don't get flinched there, I Overheat, and Overheat connects with Landorus will be good. But, you know, that's hoping the RNG goes into our favor. But Landorus flinches. Oh, that's frustrating. I'm actually just gonna... I don't want a Superpower yet, so I'm gonna Rock Slide and Heat Wave here. But that was really frustrating. Overheat onto Landorus would have put me in such a good position because Kangaskhan wouldn't be able to switch out and recover from the -1. Super interesting to see Drain Punch there, though, over Power Up Punch or Low Kick. But that was definitely a little bit frustrating. Maybe if I protected Heatran, switched into Landorus, that would have been a better play, but... Kangaskhan actually withdraws itself, which means that Rock Slide shouldn't knock out Heatran. This is really bad for my opponent if he doesn't flinch me. So let's see. Does he get another flinch or does he crit Heatran? Nope. Landorus gets the Rock Slide off, but more importantly, does Heatran attack? If Heatran attacks, we will win the game this turn since I Heat Waved. Let's see. Heatran Heat Wave misses Landorus, but connects with Aegislash at least. So I guess that's better than nothing. But... been a frustrating 2 turns. That Landorus should not be around in the game right now for sure. We're going to see Kangaskhan come back in for my opponent. I don't even know if another Rock Slide will knock out the Heatran. That's the thing. So we're probably going to see Fake Out onto Landorus and a Rock Slide. And I don't want to switch out into Charizard, unfortunately. So I'm actually just going to Heat Wave and Rock Slide. Yeah. Oh, but he goes for the Sucker Punch. Onto Heatran. Okay. I like that play. So, Landorus is going to go for the single target Rock Slide. He is at -1, so that's kind of important. But my Landorus is taking that pretty well. My Landorus gets the Rock Slide off. And now it's going to come down to who's faster, really. Oh, we also have some predictions here. Do you predict the Charizard to protect? Oh, this is so close. This is really scary because I don't know who's faster between Well, his Landorus is confirmed to be faster, but I don't know whether my Charizard's faster or not. I guess I can just Flamethrower Superpower here. Yeah, let's go for it. We're going all in. Oh, he Sucker Punches with his Kangaskhan. So if Charizard outspeeds Landorus, we win. But if it doesn't, we lose. Oh, he's faster and he gets the Rock Slide off. So that's going to knock out Charizard. So I could have predicted the double target there and protected with Charizard. I mean, the game's still not over yet, I guess, if he misses his Rock Slides. But basically, it came down to whether Heatran would have attacked through the Rock Slides. And if I connected with Heat Wave, you know, obviously the game would have been over. So that's a little bit frustrating for sure. And with his Landorus being faster, unless, you know, he misses, game should be in his favor. It's going to be close, actually. I mean, Landorus versus Landorus here. But it's obviously in your favor when I'm at -1 attack. And I missed the Rock Slide to add insult to injury. So that was a really good game, but unfortunately we couldn't close it out. I don't know, I'm pretty content with how I played the majority of the match, and the majority of the time I would win if that Rock Slide didn't flinch me earlier and if I didn't miss the Heat Wave onto Landorus. But I think my opponent, one credits to him because he played really well with the Machamp overall throughout the entirety of the match, or knocking it out as quickly as possible, and I definitely could have played a bit better in that regard. But otherwise, you know, that was definitely a really close match, and I don't think, like, my opponent consistently outplayed me at too many points, but if anything, I probably made 2 safe plays, and could have, you know, capitalized off not making those safe plays instead. So we do take a loss there, but one that I don't mind too much because I know that's a game that I should win the majority of the time. But once again, you know, my opponent did make some really nice moves with the Thundurus and Landorus to eliminate Machamp, which was definitely a huge threat to the Kangaskhan. And it was obviously nice knocking out the Aegislash on the Heat Wave, but, you know, a little bit frustrating that we couldn't attack through that turn. But that's how the RNG rolls, and that's why Landorus with Rock Slide is so good. You immediately limit your opponent's chances of hitting their attacks, and, you know, if they're low accuracy attacks, it's even worse. So do take a loss there, but let's try to recover in the next match of today's episode. In retrospect, I'm trying to think. I don't think Pokemon choice, I made the wrong choices, actually. Like, Charizard and Heatran were both great there. Cresselia definitely would have helped out by providing me resistance to the Earthquake, but not the case. Otherwise, not too great. We're going to find Calvin from Illinois for our next opponent. Calvin rocking a Gardevoir team of Gardevoir, Heatran, Thundurus, Amoonguss, Landorus, and Conkeldurr. So this kind of archetype, very, very common. 5 of the 6 are almost always together. The last one's kind of a toss-up between what Pokemon you want to use. And these matchups are always a little bit difficult, especially with the Amoonguss. Let's see, I actually really like Landorus Charizard as a lead, though. Yeah, that's superb, I think. And Machamp, probably not the call here. Heatran, yeah, Heatran's pretty good. And Sylveon or Cress? I like Cress a little bit more here, I think. But Sylveon... Yeah, I think Cress might be the better call here. So I'm going to lock in. We'll see how this goes. And the reason why I like Cress a little bit more is because I can get Earthquakes more often with my Landorus by switching out into Cress. The reason why I don't want Machamp, obviously, is because my opponent does have the Gardevoir on the side, and Machamp really hates playing Gardevoir. And Sylveon is decent, but... You'd imagine my opponent might have Wide Guard on Conkeldurr. Amoonguss can take a Hyper Voice and just Spore. Landorus' Earthquake does a good amount. Heatran resists attacks easily, so don't feel like it's exactly the best Pokemon to bring into this matchup, especially in a best-of-1 setting. And the thing with Charizard and Landorus is I get that Intimidate off immediately, and Charizard puts on some pressure, and then if I'm in a bad position, Landorus can switch out into Cresselia immediately and potentially set up a Trick Room or go for Ice Beams. Excuse me. So, otherwise, this kind of Gardevoir team archetype very popular. Wolfeaglic's recent regional winning team had Kangaskhan and Amoonguss, and a Azumarill, and he actually mainly relied on Kangaskhan there, but he did use Gardevoir to win in the finals against Paul Chua. So, you know, the dual mega between Gardevoir and Kangaskhan definitely very strong as well. So, timer taken down here for Calvin. I wonder if it does lock in right in time. So, let's get into this match. And that first one was definitely a close game, but a little bit frustrating since came down to some RNG rolls in the end. But let's try to play a little bit better in this game and recuperate. So let's see. I'm going to lead with Charizard and Landorus as he leads with Thundurus and Gardevoir. Okay, that's actually really ideal for me, I would say, here. But I wonder what Gardevoir traces here. Hopefully not Intimidate. Okay, he traces Blaze. That's perfect. So I could just Rock Slide Heat Wave here. Kind of tempted to just do that. But he might just Thunderbolt Charizard. Could also switch out into Cresselia and Rock Slide. Yeah, I think here you're probably going to want to target down Charizard a bit aggressively, but yeah, I'm going to switch out to Cress and go for the Rock Slide. But the scary thing about doing this is if my opponent knocks out the Landorus, then my means of dealing with this Heatran is a little bit scarier. It basically actually relies directly on my Heatran, so in retrospect, maybe that wasn't as good of a play because it heavily relies on what my opponent needs to do, so it's not exactly the safest turn 1 play. You'd imagine actually a Heatran switch in here would have been pretty ideal, so I think a better play would have been to withdraw Landorus out into Heatran and protect with Charizard. That way I can Mega Evolve and Overheat the following turn, or just Overheat. Cress here puts me into a nicer position. He actually doesn't switch out here. One play I thought he might have made was switching out into Heatran to take a potential Heat Wave, but just gonna Mega Evolve. Let's see who he attacks. Thunder is actually opting for Protect. Maybe Gardevoir will Protect here as well. Let's see. No Protect, so I actually could have just Rock Slide Heat Waved. But a flinch here would be very, very nice. Get a crit there, but Gardevoir gets a Hyper Voice off. So nice play by my opponent there, maybe predicting the Protect. I could actually Trick Room here. Maybe I do want to Trick Room. Actually, yeah, I'm going to Trick Room and switch out into Heatran. Because I do want to conserve the Landorus here. I don't want to just give it up immediately, and Heatran has a pretty optimal matchup against both of my opponent's Pokemon. And so by doing so, I conserve Landorus for the remainder of the match. So Heatran comes in. Thundurus goes straight for the Swagger. That's a little bit frustrating. So maybe not even carrying Hidden Power Ice then based off that, which is kind of good knowledge to know. But let's see if we can attack through and get the Trick Room up here. Hyper Voice comes out from Gardevoir. Does Cresselia attack through the Swagger? Gets the Trick Room up. Nice. Okay, so that definitely helps us a little bit, but the Swagger on Thundurus is going to be very irritating to deal with. Could skill swap Heatran, but that would make me weak. No, I'll just... I feel like Gardevoir might switch out into Heatran, so I'm going to Earth Power that slot. And if Thunder switches out, that's fine, because then you can't Swagger me anymore, and your Gardevoir can't touch my Heatran. Unless you have Hidden Power Ground, but even if you have HP Ground, I do have the Shuca Berry. But I'm a little bit frustrated at that first turn, because I was so close to just Rock Sliding, Heat Waving, but if that Thundurus was offensive, he could have knocked me out instantly. Gardevoir actually opting to Protect here, so maybe Thunder's just trying to spread some Swagger here immediately. Yep, so... You know, that's the really frustrating thing about playing against Swagger. Like, it's the best move for my opponent there. There's no reason not to do it. But Cresselia actually snaps out of Confusion right away, which is pretty nice. So I do get an Ice Beam off here. Doing some pretty good damage here. Does he try to attack through? Nope, but not like it mattered much there. Let's see. I could Overheat Gardevoir. And steal Thundurus' Prankster. By skill swapping. Or I could just Ice Beam again. The Swagger is really irritating to deal with, though. I think I'm just going to Ice Beam. Overheat. I kind of want to Earth Power Gardevoir again, though. Or I can knock out Thundurus with a double target. Decisions. Who do you switch out here? Or do you even switch out? You know what? I can Skill Swap to take away Gardevoir's Pixelate, though that's not too helpful. I guess I'll steal away Thundurus's, and I'll Earth Power here. But he doesn't switch out. Okay. Yeah, he actually opted not to Swagger either, so going for a Thunderbolt here. But I do get rid of Prankster, which is potentially helpful. And Heatran actually snaps out of Confusion as well, so lucky here not to be confused too much. Get the Earth Power off, doesn't do very much against Gardevoir. He's just going to Hyper Voice here. And Thundurus, let's see who it targets down. Gonna go for the Thunderbolt. Gonna target down Heatran, which I believe is the correct play. So with that, I'm just gonna Ice Beam and Do I want to Heat Wave? No, I'm going to overheat Thundurus. I'm going to knock out Thundurus here. Gardevoir protects. Perfect. Presumably Thundurus isn't going to protect, but maybe he is to stall out Trick Room. Nope. Perfect. So get the Ice Beam off. Brings it down to Citrus. Ooh, get a Freeze. Okay. Yeah, it does proc the Citrus Berry. And let's see if Overheat's enough to knock it out. Connects with the Thundurus, which is the most important thing. And falling. Nice. Picks up the knockout. Fantastic. So the freeze there didn't matter, and I was reading the protect there from Gardevoir. So get rid of Thundurus, and still have one more turn of Trick Room, I believe, which is pretty handy. So do get rid of the biggest threat to the Charizard, and Charizard's so important in this matchup because of my ability to just Heat Wave everything. So that's really what I was playing for here. But Conkeldurr comes in here. Good call for my opponent for sure. We're probably just going to see a Mach Punch. Do I want to Toxic that slot? I mean, that's a little bit risky there. Actually, no. I'm going to Skill Swap Gardevoir's ability away. Maybe I'll just sacrifice Heatran now. Yeah, I mean, he might predict the Heatran to switch out into Landorus, which is probably what I'm scared of the most. So I'm just going to Heat Wave here. And I'm skill swapping Gardevoir, so now it doesn't have Pixelate. Which means that even if he outspeeds my Landorus and Charizard, he won't be able to do very much. So it gets Prankster, but Prankster Gardevoir not gonna... Yeah, he does actually predict the switch out there, so I'm not gonna give it to my opponent. So get a Heat Wave off. That's not gonna do too much damage at -2, but any damage is good damage here. Gardevoir goes for the Hyper Voice. Still doing a decent amount there. And this means we do get to switch into my Charizard. So I'm going to protect, yeah, and actually just Heat Wave here, because I do want the free switch into Landorus T. And once Landorus T comes out, I should be... Actually, maybe that wasn't a best of plays because of the fact that my opponent might potentially have Landorus T in the back as well. And if my opponent's last Pokemon's Landorus, then that's a little bit concerning. But if it's Amoonguss or Heatran, then we win the game for sure. So this one's actually really coming down to the wire. And I actually kind of wish that he just knocked out the Heatran there. But, you know, that Ice Punch play was really safe, I think. Because it's not like Heatran can do very much in the position. I think it's a better move actually would have been to just overheat Gardevoir and try to knock it out. Since once Gardevoir goes down, my Landorus can Intimidate for free. So this turn really coming down to the wire. Let's see what Calvin goes for. And I'm not Mega Evolving, of course, because they do want to conserve the Sun turns. Probably not going to matter much, but when you're in this kind of battle, you know, no reason not to. Though I guess since I am attacking with Heatran, could have potentially used it. But I presume Conkeldurr will try to knock it out here. But no, actually, maybe going for a Rock Slide? Let's see. Hyper Voice coming out from Gardevoir. Heatran hangs on. Gets the Heat Wave off. Yeah, so Mega Evolving there actually wouldn't have been the worst case. But burning Conkeldurr, and is that a Lumberry? Oh wow, it is. And he goes for the Ice Punch onto the Landorus. So I'm not giving, or the Heatran, so I'm not giving him that switch out. So now I'm gonna be able to switch in Landorus, and we're just gonna go from there. But let's see. Yeah, Mega Evolving there actually would have been a good call, but now I'm just going to... Well, given that he has Lumberry, he might have Wide Guard. Well, we've seen... Yeah, I'm just going to Flamethrower Conkeldurr and... Yeah, Flamethrower. And U-Turn. Yeah. Well, the thing is, he might be inclined to switch out right now. So if he switches out, comes down to what his last one is. But I don't know. Maybe I should have Heat Wave there. But yeah, I guess if you have Lumberry, you're probably not going to be carrying. I mean, you could have Wide Guard, but then you might forego Protect. Oh wow! So he doesn't switch out here, which is good news for me since that Gardevoir did lose Pixelate. Alright, so let's see what happens here. This is going to be big. If I pick up a double knockout here, that should win me the game. Oh, but Conkeldurr does go for the protect, or detect, excuse me. So Flamethrower goes into that slot. But I'm faster than Gardevoir, so Gardevoir might have been going for a Trick Room there. And U-turn picks up the knockout there. Oh boy, so if Calvin's last Pokemon is Landorus, I actually probably lose this one. So I'm hoping to see a Mungus or Heatran. It's gonna be Heatran, yes. Perfect. So that should be game, actually. So now we can just Flamethrower Conkeldurr. And do I want to Superpower Earthquake? I'm gonna Superpower here, since Superpower is a 2-hit KO. And Heatran presumably has Shuckle Berry. Conkeldurr could still have Wide Guard here. Though I guess if Heatran has Overheat, he can actually knock out Landorus. So it comes down to, one, does Heatran have Overheat, or Hidden Power Ice, I guess. So no Wide Guard coming out there, so yeah, Earthquake would have been fine, but I don't know if he has Shuckle Berry. Flamethrower does pick up the knockout there onto Conkeldurr. And we are going to get the Superpower off. Let's see how strong your Heatran is. Ooh, good enough that I can probably knock him out with the Solar, or 2 Solar Beam hits, probably. And no Overheat comes out, so Heat Wave comes out. As long as no crit or burn, we should be good. Does a lot to Landorus. Gets the burn! Oh, you're kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Alright, so I'll Solar Beam. I mean, he just protects here. Wow. Wow. Okay. I don't know if he has Shuckle Berry. If he has Shuckle Berry, then... Oh, that's honestly unreal. So Landorus goes down here because of the burn. And Sun's still around, but for how much longer? In a real VGC match, I would actually be able to win this off timer by Solar Beaming, protecting, and taking the full minute, but obviously not the case here since we're playing with 30 minutes. Solar Beam probably not going to knock out Heatran, but the thing is, I think Sun ends after. So, you know, my opponent can just protect the Solar Beams. Oh man, the clutch Heat Wave burn coming in. Okay, so no protect here, obviously. Solar Beam's gonna come out from Charizard. Probably not gonna be enough to knock out Heatran, but let's see. Maybe it will be. 4 times resistant. Nope. One more should do the trick though. Heat Wave coming out, hitting Charizard. Does a good amount of damage there. Sun doesn't fade, so he's probably gonna protect here. Oh my goodness. Yep, gonna protect. I think that's the last turn of Sun. If it's not, then he needs to get a double protect off. Yeah, that is the last turn of Sun. So now he can just Heat Wave protect cycle, right? So, wow, I can't believe it. That Heat Wave miss coming in. Or Heat Wave crit. Oh, today's been an episode of Heat Wave, guys. So Heatran probably just gonna Heat Wave here. Oh, he's got Hidden Power. Huh. Hidden Power what? Hidden Power Ice? Yeah, so the thing with Solar Beam is he can just protect. So Hidden Power comes out. And we're actually gonna end up losing this one. Well played, man. Well played, but it's all from that burn. Yeah, today's episode shows you everything that can go right and wrong with Heat Wave. So, I mean, there's no way I can win this one. So I'll just forfeit. Well played, man. Very well played. So 2 losses in today's episode, both basically coming off crazy RNG rolls, but really fun episode at that despite the 2 losses, and one of the longer ones that we've had in a while. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, leave a like if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright.